Hi, Frank Gray, attorney at the law office of Gemetto & Gray, here today to talk to you about step-parent adoptions. As always, if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you know when we're pushing out more family law content that'll help you with your family law situation. We're going to talk about step-parent adoptions. But before we do that, we have to frame out what are the kinds of adoptions in Maryland. There's an independent agency adoption. That means an adoption agency. There's a public agency adoption. That means the Department of Social Services has terminated someone's parental rights and they have the ability to go through and basically facilitate the adoption on behalf of the child. And then there's the third type, which is what we're going to talk about. In the literature, you won't usually see step-parent adoption. What you're actually going to see is it's called an independent adoption. So with most of these step-parent adoptions, what's happening is there's a new significant other involved who wants to adopt the child. So what we do is we have the married partner, one of the biological parents, sign a consent. And then we try and get the other biological parent to sign a consent. If they do, it's pretty easy. It just means that we have to fill out the application. We have to get all the paperwork squared away with all of the originals that you're required to file. And we have a hearing down in the circuit court on adoption day. They call it happy court. Literally, circuit court judges will argue with each other to figure out who gets to be in charge of happy court every week. It is the best day in the courthouse. Everyone walks away happy. The judges smile, the deputies smile, the bailiffs smile. They let you take pictures. It is a wonderful experience. They're really trying to facilitate everything because what it means is the court is helping someone. Everyone gets to walk away happy. The system has worked. And it's a fairly fast process. So what happens in a step-parent adoption if you can't get the consent of the other biological parent, either because you can't find them or they don't want to? Well, that's called a non-consensual adoption. That's what you'll see in the literature. What it means is either they filed a notice of objection, meaning they're telling the court, I don't want this adoption to happen, or they just haven't signed the consent, in which case the court is going to issue a show cause, and we're still going to go through the contested case, and they're just going to call it a non-consensual adoption. What happens in most counties is you go through just like a contested case. You're going to have a scheduling conference, you're going to have a settlement conference, and ultimately you're going to have a trial date. If the other side appears, they get to present evidence, they get to cross-examine you and your witnesses, and the court will make a determination about whether or not it would be in the child's best interest and whether or not the statutory criteria is met that would allow a non-consensual adoption. So what happens a lot of times is the other parent will just file the notice of objection and then they just won't show. Whether it's that scenario or it's one where we just weren't able to find the biological parent, but they were served, didn't file a response, haven't participated, we're still going to have a trial. The court still is very careful with these adoptions because parental rights are a constitutionally protected fundamental right. That means these cases could go all the way up to the Supreme Court. So the judges are really on the lookout to make sure that everything is done correctly. But let's assume that you found yourself in a scenario where there is no consent or where the other side is objecting. What is the court going to look for? I just want to go over the most significant factors real quick. The first factor is going to be the length of separation. In other words, the biological parent that you're trying to terminate their parental rights, how long have they been out of the picture? The second thing they're going to look at is, has that other biological parent maintained and fostered any kind of a relationship at all with the minor child? Next, they're going to look, did that biological parent contribute to the support, care, and maintenance of the minor child? And then there's some ugly things that they have to ask about. They have to ask if this child was ever abused by that parent, if that parent has ever been convicted of certain family crimes, and whether or not that parent has ever lost or had their rights terminated to another child. There's other particularities the court has to go through, but those are the ones that are always going to get looked at first. If you have any questions about your Maryland adoption, make sure to give us a call at the number that's listed below.